How polite networking builds powerful connections in professional career. In every city across America, from the busy streets of New York to the innovation hubs of San Francisco, success often begins not just with what you know, but who you know and how you connect. The heartbeat of every opportunity often lies in the relationships you cultivate, in the people who trust you, and in the impressions you leave behind. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a student, or a professional just beginning your journey, understanding how to build connections politely and effectively can redefine your entire career path. Networking, at its core, isn't about collecting names. It's about creating bonds that last. Yet for many young professionals, networking feels unnatural, even intimidating. You walk into a room full of people, coffee in hand, heart pounding, unsure where to start. The fear of saying the wrong thing or sounding too eager makes you overthink every move. But here's the truth. Networking doesn't require you to be fake, loud, or overly confident. It simply requires you to be authentic, polite, and genuinely interested in others. The beauty of polite networking lies in its simplicity. It's not about perfection but presence. When you approach people with humility and sincerity, you open the door to honest, human interaction, and that's what truly leaves an impression. As Dale Carnegie wisely said, you can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. This single principle has outlived generations because it's rooted in timeless psychology. People respond to genuine warmth. Networking is not a performance, it's a conversation. It's about listening, understanding, and showing that you care. Today, you'll learn the Carnegie way, how to connect with warmth, confidence, and purpose without ever feeling awkward. Number 1. The power of first impressions. In America's fast-paced professional world, your first impression often decides whether someone will trust you or forget you. People form opinions within seconds, long before you speak. That's why appearance, posture, and presence matter. Walk into the room with relaxed confidence, offer a warm smile, and shake hands firmly but gently. Those small, polite gestures carry silent messages of respect and sincerity. As Carnegie said, a person's name is to that person the sweetest sound in any language. So remember names, repeat them naturally in conversation. Nice to meet you, Jennifer. I really appreciate your insights. It shows attentiveness and care, two qualities that immediately set you apart in a sea of forgettable introductions. Your first impression isn't just about how you look, it's about how you make others feel. A calm, friendly tone tells people that you're approachable, while genuine eye contact builds trust faster than any business pitch. People often forget words, but they rarely forget how you made them feel. When you walk into a room with the intention to make others comfortable rather than impress them, the energy shifts in your favor. These small gestures of attention leave deep impressions. They tell people, you matter. And in a world that often feels impersonal, that's unforgettable. Number 2. Mindset shift. Networking is about giving, not taking. Real networking isn't a business transaction. It's an exchange of goodwill. It's not a race to collect the most contacts or hand out the most business cards. It's a journey of genuine contribution. Many people enter networking events thinking, what can I get from this person? But Dale Carnegie flipped this mindset on its head. He said, the only way to influence people is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it. When you enter a room with a goal to give instead of gain, something magical happens. People open up. Instead of trying to impress, focus on understanding. Instead of asking for favors, offer help, ideas, or encouragement. Real connection begins when you remove the invisible wall of self-interest. So, instead of trying to collect contacts, try to create value. If you meet someone who's launching a small business, offer an idea or share a useful resource. If you're at a conference, introduce 2 people who might benefit from knowing each other. Networking built on generosity is networking that lasts. That's how Americans build professional trust, not through favors, but through genuine contribution. The moment someone realizes you're not there to use them, but to support them, they remember you. Generosity opens doors that self-interest never will. Number 3. How to introduce yourself without awkwardness. Most people overthink introductions, but Carnegie taught that sincerity beats sophistication. You don't need to craft a perfect elevator pitch or memorize a speech. What people truly respond to is warmth and confidence. Start with warmth. Say, hi, I'm Alex. I've seen some of your marketing work, really great creativity. That's it, short, friendly, and respectful. No need to throw in your entire resume. A natural introduction creates comfort, and comfort creates opportunity. Americans value humble confidence. Confidence that feels real, not rehearsed. When you lead with curiosity rather than ego, people relax. Remember Carnegie's rule, talk in terms of the other person's interests. A natural compliment about their work or experience turns a stiff handshake into a real conversation. Ask simple questions that show interest, like, what inspired you to start in this field? Or, what's been the most exciting project you've worked on lately? You'd be amazed how quickly walls melt away when people feel genuinely heard. That's not charm, that's emotional intelligence in action. Number 4. Mastering the art of small talk. Small talk is not small, it's social glue. It's the art of gently opening doors into deeper conversations. In the US, where diversity and individuality thrive, small talk builds bridges between strangers. You can start with simple topics. How are you finding the event? Or, did you see that new Tesla innovation? Or, what's your favorite place for coffee around here? These openers seem casual, but they serve as emotional icebreakers that set the tone for mutual respect. Carnegie reminded us, talk to someone about themselves and they'll listen for hours. That's not manipulation, it's human nature. People want to feel understood. When you make them comfortable, the walls fall down. Even the shyest person opens up when they sense genuine curiosity. The key to great small talk isn't cleverness, it's comfort. The more relaxed you are, the more relaxed others become. When you nod, maintain eye contact, and listen without interrupting, you give others permission to be authentic. And authenticity builds connection faster than any fancy title. An executive once said, "The person who can talk comfortably with anyone can walk into any room and walk out with opportunity." So, treat small talk as practice in empathy, not performance. With time, you'll notice it becomes second nature, and every short conversation will start to feel like an open door. Number 5. Listening like a leader. If there's one secret weapon in networking, it's listening. Dale Carnegie's timeless advice still echoes through every successful conversation. Be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. In a fast, multitasking world, genuine listening is rare, and that's why it's powerful. Listening deeply doesn't mean staying silent. It means being fully present. When you truly listen, people feel seen. They sense respect and attention. Two of the most valuable gifts you can offer in any professional interaction. At American networking events, people often rush to speak about their achievements. But the person who listens calmly, asks thoughtful follow-up questions, and makes eye contact stands out instantly. The listener often becomes the person everyone remembers later. Try phrases like, "That's fascinating. How did you come up with that idea?" Or, "That must have been challenging. What did you learn from it?" These small prompts show emotional intelligence. They turn ordinary dialogue into meaningful exchange. Good listeners don't just earn information, they earn trust. They become the safe space in a noisy room. And trust, in the US professional ecosystem, is currency. Number 6. Emotional intelligence. The real networking power. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, is what transforms polite conversation into deep connection. It's the invisible skill that allows you to navigate social situations with empathy and tact. Carnegie wrote, "When dealing with people, remember you are not dealing with creatures of logic, but creatures of emotion." So, when you sense someone is shy, give them space. When you see someone anxious, smile. When you feel tension in the room, lower your tone and bring calm. These micro-gestures often go unnoticed, yet they leave a lasting impression. Emotional intelligence isn't about strategy of all. Number 7. Follow up with genuine interest. The art of polite networking doesn't end with a first meeting. In fact, that's where it truly begins. Following up with someone after an event or introduction demonstrates sincerity and thoughtfulness. When you take the time to send a short message or email that references your earlier conversation, you're not just reminding them who you are, you're showing that you were attentive, that you listened, and that their time mattered to you. Many professionals make the mistake of treating follow-ups as formalities, writing messages that feel stiff or self-centered. But polite networking thrives on warmth. For example, saying, I really enjoyed hearing your thoughts about sustainable business models. I'd love to learn more about your work sometime. Feels personal, conversational, and genuine. The tone is never demanding, never pushy. It's grounded in mutual respect. When you consistently nurture such connections, people remember you not as someone who wanted something from them, but as someone who made them feel valued. Over time, this habit builds a circle of trust around you, where people naturally think of you for opportunities, introductions, or collaboration, simply because they know your communication comes from a place of authenticity. Number 8. Balancing confidence with humility. Confidence draws people in, but humility keeps them close. In the world of networking, both qualities must coexist. Too much confidence without humility can come across as arrogance, while too much humility without confidence can make you seem unsure of yourself. Polite networking is about finding the sweet spot, where you speak with conviction yet stay open to learning from others. When you share your ideas, do it with enthusiasm but also with curiosity about others' perspectives. For instance, you might say, "That's how I approached this project, but I'd love to hear how you handled a similar challenge." This simple acknowledgement turns a conversation into a collaboration. In American professional culture, people appreciate those who can celebrate their own achievements without diminishing anyone else's. Humility doesn't mean downplaying your worth, it means recognizing the worth of others too. The more you engage with people through this balance, the more magnetic your personality becomes. You project quiet strength, the kind that doesn't need to shout to be respected. Number 9. The subtle power of gratitude. In polite networking, gratitude isn't a closing gesture, it's a continuous mindset. Every interaction is a chance to express appreciation, not just for favors or introductions, but for the exchange of time, attention, or insight. A simple, "Thank you for your perspective," can carry more weight than a long follow-up message. Gratitude softens the professional edges of networking and makes it human. When people feel appreciated, they instinctively want to engage with you again. The key is to be specific. Generic gratitude feels mechanical. Mention what you valued. "I really appreciated your advice on handling client negotiations. It gave me a new way to look at communication." Over time, gratitude builds emotional equity. People feel good when they interact with you because your presence uplifts them. In a world that often rushes through connections, polite gratitude is the pause that makes relationships last. Number 10. Respecting boundaries and personal space. True politeness is rooted in respect, and respect begins with boundaries. In every conversation, knowing when to talk, when to listen, and when to step back is crucial. Not every person you meet will be available or interested in continuing contact, and that's okay. Polite networking never forces connection. It invites it gracefully. Respecting boundaries can mean giving someone time to respond, not oversharing, or simply recognizing when a topic feels too personal. It's about emotional intelligence, the ability to sense comfort levels and adjust your approach accordingly. Americans, especially in professional settings, value personal space and subtle social cues. When you honor those cues, you build silent trust. People feel safe around you because they sense you'll never cross a line. And in the long run, trust outlasts charm. Number 11. Building a reputation of reliability. Networking without reliability is like planting seeds in sand. Connections fade if not nurtured with consistency. When you promise something, deliver it. When you say you'll help, follow through. Reliability transforms politeness into credibility. Many people underestimate how much professional relationships rely on dependability. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent. If you can't meet a commitment, communicate early and honestly. It shows respect for the other person's time. Over time, your name becomes associated with trustworthiness, and that's the most powerful form of networking there is. People prefer to recommend, hire, or collaborate with someone they can rely on, even more than someone who is simply talented. Your steady reliability speaks volumes about your integrity, and polite networking amplifies it. Number 12. Turning connections into meaningful relationships. The ultimate goal of polite networking isn't to collect business cards or LinkedIn contacts. It's to build meaningful relationships that enrich both sides. This transformation happens slowly, through repeated interactions, shared respect, and small acts of kindness. When you remember someone's birthday, celebrate their achievements, or check in without expecting anything in return, you show that your interest goes beyond self-gain. That's where real influence begins. People open doors for those who make them feel seen and respected. Every powerful networker you admire, from entrepreneurs to thought leaders, understands that relationships are built on trust, empathy, and mutual growth. Over time, polite networking becomes less about opportunity and more about community. You start realizing that the more you give, the more life gives back to you. Polite networking is not a technique, it's a way of being. It teaches you that respect and kindness are not signs of weakness but of emotional intelligence and strength. When you approach every connection with sincerity and gratitude, you create ripples of positivity that spread far beyond professional boundaries. Every hello becomes a seed of possibility, every conversation a chance to learn, and every act of courtesy a bridge towards something greater. In the end, success is not about how many people know your name, it's about how many people respect it. The quiet art of polite networking allows you to build a legacy of grace and goodwill, one genuine interaction at a time. So, the next time you enter a room full of strangers, remember, it's not about who notices you first, but about who feels valued because of you. That's the real power of connection, and that's how polite networking turns ordinary moments into lifelong opportunities. Thank you for watching.